always 2 minutes late. We're always 2 minutes late. We're going to work on that. Look at all the stuff we're using today. And there's those new Halloween flashcards. Could you tell them. I couldn't?
What are they called? Halloween.
Very true, Teresa. Very true. So anyway, it's Monday. Happy Monday, everybody. And we're here at Memory Bound in Iowa. And I'm Kelly. And Teresa's here today.
Good morning.
You're back doing your Monday things again.
I am.
Which I love, because then we always know Monday's going to be a good one. And Teresa's here, and everything is going to happen. And today it looks like we got Halloween.
We do.
And fall. Let's come over here while people are
Halloween
joining us.
mainly, but we have one fall and one Christmas.
Oh, I love that Christmas.
And we're going to have to go back into the bathroom again.
Okay, oh shoot, I was going to go make sure it was clean. I didn't get back there, Teresa. Oh well, we'll take a chance.
We'll turn the lights off.
Candace is here, and I'll say hi to Joanne and Peggy and Christine, and let's see who else is here. Pat and Sally and Joe. Welcome everybody. Happy that you're joining us on this Monday morning. We've got a couple things to go through today.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited because today Teresa's doing group stamping, and it's a good one, and I love it. And I was lucky enough to be a recipient of one of her cards that she made. So Teresa, I'm going to hand this over to you because we want to show our special, and we've got a brand new product to show that I'm super excited about, and I reordered them this morning, and we just got them Friday. Okay, well first of all, we have been having blue ribbon specials for the last 10 days, I think it is, for the Iowa State Fair. It ended yesterday, but when we were doing our spreadsheet, I accidentally went out one more day. And you know, today is still pretty crazy out at the fairgrounds. They're cleaning up.
Yeah.
So our final blue ribbon special are these 49 and Market stamp sets, and they're normally $12.99 and they are $2.99. So, and Teresa's going to use one of them today.
Yep.
Let's see, you're using this one, which is called Rations Stamp. So it's called Rations. And then this one is called Vintage Remnants Doilies. And I had printed some of the doilies, so I just wanted to show how nice the images are. So I printed them in a couple different colors. And
you stamped them?
Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, it's Monday. Thank you, Teresa. You know what? On the back here is our Merry Grinchmas stuff. Oh. But anyhow, this shows you kind of how they stamp, and one of them I stamped and cut out. I think this would be a great background, even if you stamped it in Lost Shadow or some.
Half of it off a card.
So anyhow, that's the doily stamp. Those are $2.99. They're normally $12.99 from 49 and Market.
$2.99?
Yeah. Teresa's got one. Teresa's going to get one.
Okay.
They're online under specials. So if you go out to specials, and then we still have that jar with the green embellishments. Maggie just bought 2 of them.
Buttons?
The buttons. The jar of buttons, and it's got sequins and little beads. It's got lots of little goodies. And Teresa, I better go get one because that's still going to show up on special too.
I'll just tell you that I was trying to tell my husband that the fair went through today because I knew that we had fair specials for today. And so someone said, does the fair end today on Sunday? And I said, no, it goes through Monday because we have specials at the store.
You thought the fair went on because of our specials?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious,
I know,
Teresa.
and my husband's like, no.
Teresa, it's over. Here's the little green jar. This was on special yesterday, and since it was Sunday, we just continued it today. But it's got a little bit of everything.
Okay.
And these are 99 cents, and they're normally $5.99. Well, I was telling Maggie, with her grandkids, you could do like Christmas trees and have them glue on the buttons, which I'm thinking about doing that myself. Okay, so those are our specials. And then, Teresa, we've got to show the new Precision Glue Press.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Now, a lot of you are familiar with Misty. So if you have a Misty, give us a thumbs up or a heart. Because if you have one, you probably really love it. Have you ever heard, Teresa, anybody say they didn't like their Misty?
It helps them stamp. Everybody
does.
likes it.
It's a perfect stamping. Oh, and Teresa just
I'll be
happens to have one today. So here we go. And then today, but this came in on Friday, the Precision Glue Press. It's brand new from My Sweet Petunia, who makes the Misty. And I'll show you what you get. When you open it up, you're going to get this little stand. You're going to get this little stand, and then this comes just like this with the cap screwed on. And this is, you take your stand, you put your cap right here.
Oh, that's handy.
And then and it comes with this Nouveau glue in here, this Nouveau Deluxe glue, which we all love. Teresa, it's going to be a hard day for talking today.
Okay.
And it just pops in here. And then it sits, if you can see, whoops. It's hard to do it in the air, everybody, but you see that little pink silicone at the bottom? That's what keeps your glue from clogging. So you don't need to be putting your glue, the cap on your glue every night. And Diana took hers home and she's been using it. Oh, here's Diana right here. Yes. Diana took one home and she's been using it, and she even left it overnight in the stand. And it fit just perfect.
Yep. And it seals, and it doesn't look like it's going to seal, but it must.
And I don't think I have that right there. I got it popped in. You have to push it. I just learned on the spot. You have to kind of pop it in, and then look how nicely it sits.
It sits right in there.
And you put your cap there.
I don't know if you can see the little rubber flange thing, and that's what it sits up against. And it doesn't look like it's in there very tight, but it does a trick.
And then you also get an empty bottle, so you could put your own glue if you want to put glossy accents or Scotch glue or whatever you might need. And this one also has one of those fine tip caps on it. And this tip is a little bit bigger than the other tip. So you get both sizes of the little nozzle tips, and you get an empty bottle, and you get a full bottle of Nouveau glue. And we're going to do it, Teresa. So you just squeeze it a little bit, and look how easy it is. I am barely squeezing.
That's nice.
And you can squeeze it. This is the fine tip, and I don't think we'll change the other tip. But look at you guys. I just want to do this.
That's better.
I just want to do this all day long. And then when I'm done, I just put it back in here, and I don't have to worry about it clogging. And Teresa, I don't know if you're doing any gluing today. You may be just stamping, but if we are gluing, we're going to use it. And we didn't mention it, but it's $34.99 for the Precision Glue Press, and it's going to go really fast. If you go online, you can see it, and it tells all about the attributes about it. But we love it because it combined one of our favorite glues, and you don't have to squeeze the bottle. I know some people like me are kind of their hands are getting kind of achy sometimes, and you know how you try to squeeze this, especially with your thumb. And this, we just barely. Teresa, you need to do it. Here. I'm going to take the camera, and Teresa's going to try it so she can show you her surprise.
It does fit right in there nicely.
It's very easier on the hands. What do you think? You barely squeeze it.
That's nice.
And that's a fine tip, and then the other tip that comes with it is a little bit thicker, and then it just goes in
right
there.
In there.
So it's easy on the hands. It's got a good flow. You got to store your cap. And then if you're going somewhere to a crop, you just put your cap back on.
And it's a very sturdy little.
Yeah, and it holds your glue where you can find it.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, because I lose my glue a lot on my table.
Now the caps do have that little pin in there to keep your glue from clogging.
And so it goes right down in the hole.
It goes right there. And then if you're going to a crop or going to someone's house to craft, just put your cap back on and you're good to go.
Nice.
So that's the new Precision Glue Press for $34.99, and we wanted to show you how it worked today. And I want to say hey to Janet, because she placed an order this morning and asked if we were going to demo this. And what timing is that?
Yeah.
That's the perfect timing. So we do have those in stock, and I have more coming because I think I opened it today and a lot of the staff are like, oh, I'm getting one of those. So I think My Sweet Petunia has done it again.
Yeah, they're very creative there.
They are. Okay, let's see. Is there any questions about that? Or
I didn't see any. People were giving thumbs
price.
up.
It's $34.99. Oh, on the Misty.
People were giving thumbs up for the Misty, and then we do have the new Misty.
Oh, the black Misty.
The black one for $75.99. It's the medium. I'm using one today,
the regular size.
Yeah, but not the black one.
So now we have the black one, which is nice. I'm just catching up here. Oh, Janet responded to the price. She's got a link. So check it out. And now getting to today, after that little brief
Yeah.
commercial or whatever. I just think people wanted to see it, and I did too. I wanted to use it myself, Teresa.
Yeah.
We're
It is
kind
a
of
good thing to
we're
see
kind
it.
of picky here at Memory Bound that if we have something like this, we want to make sure it really works before we tell you that it works and tell you that we love it. All right, well, look at all this cool stamping we're going to do today, and you're going to learn something new if you haven't done this before. I particularly love it.
Yep, we're going to do some grouping today, and it's a fun technique you can do with your stamp, an individual stamp set, or you can use multiple stamp sets. You guys know how I like to combine stamp sets.
I know,
But
I'm glad
today,
you do.
Yeah, today I pretty much just used the one stamp set on everything except for I did a fall and a Christmas, and maybe we'll do those two at the end. I'll show those. But the stamp set that I used is called Haunted Home Stamp Set, and it's $12.99, and it's by Cartabella. And you can see that it has the kind of stamps that I like because it has images and sentiments. And so I just randomly picked this one. I wanted to do some Halloween, and no specific reason why I picked this one. It just has a good mix of, sentiments. And
I will say Echo Park and Cartabella do a good job with
they do
combining, and you get a lot
Yep.
of stamps on your set also.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but I see that now that you're showing it, and I want it myself, Teresa.
There's 17 stamps, yeah. So you have a variety. So you can just use one, like you could do a pumpkin and make a whole background. I've done that before. So I'm just going to show you some different ways to do grouping. And I did do some tags, and I know everyone is like, oh, what do you do? What do you do with tags? So on the sample that I make, we're going to do a slimline card because look, a tag is almost as big as the slimline card. So you can easily just, instead of doing a tag, do a slimline card. This is the small, 6? Yeah.
Number 6
Number
from
6
Photoplay.
From Photoplay.
They come in a pack of 10, and are
Yeah.
they like $3.99?
They're affordable.
I feel
$2.99.
No, $2.99.
Yeah, and then the envelopes come separately.
And they're the same
They're
price.
3.5 by 6 1/4. So
They're
it's very
pre-scored
close to us.
Kind of nice.
Tag size. Okay, so I will start with this one. This one, so when you're doing groupings with stamps, then what you want to do is start with your focal point. And so for me, I decided I wanted to use a cat for the focal point. And so I had the Tim Holtz Mischievous die, and that's $22.99. And this was from last year.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun to use. The cats are so cute. And you don't have to just use them at Halloween. Diana's a big cat person, and I know she got this die. But it does come out at Halloween because they make fun black cats. Especially since I think he should have put other colors of cats, but there they are. They did come out at Halloween,
And Teresa, speaking of Tim Holtz and Halloween, I don't know how many of you watching caught his video on Saturday with all the Halloween ideology, so be sure to check that out if you missed it. Go to YouTube and you can search on Tim Holtz, and lots of amazing makes.
So if you start with your focal point, then that just kind of gives you not necessarily a big thing in the middle of your card. It could be off to the side, but I usually kind of start in the middle. I don't know. I suppose you could start off to the side if you wanted to. And then I just started picking my stamps. And what I do is I get a piece of paper first, a scratch piece of paper, and I just lay it out. So I start, I take my stamp sets, yep. And so I'll just take, the die. Maybe I should have had it out. Figured out, you get, I don't know how many,
Get lots of cats.
you get lots of cats.
16.
Yeah.
Because you get their heads.
Yeah, you get their heads.
So
The head is
while
popped
you get
up.
that out, let me show this. So you have the cat with the head and the body all together. And then you have just the head in the picture in case you want to pop it up like Teresa did here. It looks like she's also got some sparkly here going on.
I do. I don't want to lose those. Put them over to the side. So what I do is I just start with, you know, my focal point, and then I start laying out, you know, what I think my stamp should be. And so I'm like, okay, there, and oh, I gotta do spooky, and it's got this fun little thing.
Yeah, I thought those were flowers, but they're kind of like stars.
Yeah, stars. And then my pumpkin. And so I could have done different things, but these just seem to fit. And so maybe you'll go, oh, you know, I don't want I could have moved this up, maybe done beware instead. But I wanted a bat. So I wanted some images and I wanted some words. And sometimes there's a specific word that I want to use, and sometimes there isn't. So sometimes if there's a specific word, like if I wanted to make sure Happy Halloween was on there, I would start with that. And I would be like, oh, look, it fits nicely right in the crook of his tail. So I would start with that. And maybe I would change it a little bit. You know, I don't like
Are you actually making this, or
no? I'm just showing.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I might do some stars, maybe. So there's different. So, you know, you just kind of have to play and move your things around. See, I wouldn't want my words across from each other, so I would just move it around like that. Maybe I would put my bat over here.
Teresa's been doing a lot of these.
Maybe then I would add some sparkles up there. Yeah, so that's kind of, you know, you just have to start getting a process of how you do it. If you start with your focal point, it's easier than to go from there. And like I said, so what I'll do is I'll have whatever card base it is that I'm going to work on off to the side, and I'll start laying it out, and then I'll have my real card base, so then I'll die cut and I'll start stamping on my real piece, and it's still laid out over here, but I'll just do it individually. I'll just take one stamp at a time. And we're going to do one at the end here, and I'll show you how.
Okay. Oh, good. I'm looking forward to that.
Do that, but I was just going to kind of give you an idea how we did it. Okay, so then this one I added, and I used oxides to stamp, and I used Crackling Campfire, Squeeze Lemonade, Rustic Wilderness, Wilted Violet, and Black Soot. Those are the colors that I used on all of the cards today because I think they're fun Halloween cards. Oh, you know what? I lied. I used I'm like, that's not
Twisted Citron.
That's Twisted Citron. I forgot Twisted Citron because I wanted a little bit brighter green on that one. And then for the sparkles and on the pumpkin, I just
what'd you use?
Took the glossy accents and I traced over that. And we have these cute little bottles. If you haven't used it before, get one of these little bottles. We have big bottles too, but I know Merry Makers or Scary Makers are going to be using the glossy accents. We've got little and big bottles. And then one of my favorite things is my glitter duster. And this becomes very popular at Halloween. And you just put your glitter in there. It's when you just want a light
like a
dusting. You don't want big clumps of glitter. If I were just to pour my glitter on there, it's going to get a big clump. But when I use the glitter duster, it just sprays the nice fine glitter, and those are $6.99. And then I like the rock candy, of course.
You have to use the fine glitter in your glitter duster.
Yes.
And some people have more than one because they put different colors and they just keep them in there.
I have two because I have the there's the gold mix that he has as well. So yeah, so that just adds a little bit of sparkle, kind of fun. So that was that card. So here on this card you can see my focal point is the what do you, cauldron.
Cauldron?
Cauldron, yes. And when I was looking at the stamp set, I was like, wouldn't it be fun to use the broom to make a frame out of it? But you got a little frame, but you could do that with the word spooky, or you could do a frame with a ghost. Ooh, or a bat would be fun. Wouldn't that be fun? Or pumpkins if you want to do more a fall. So I started with the cauldron, and then I wanted sentiments too, so I picked out the 2 sentiments that I wanted, and then stamped the brooms around it. And before I stamped, I did kind of I kind of measured and went, okay, it fits perfectly. Yeah, and I made sure my sentiments weren't wider because I wanted my brooms to fit across the top and across the bottom.
You can always, if you're not sure, just get some scratch paper and stamp a practice time.
That's right.
Oh, do we still have that?
And that's my package. I'm like, that's cut apart.
There's a scrap in there because it's Teresa's. We're not going to sell you that one.
This is the black 2-tone wood grain, and it came out last year. And Kelly ordered a lot, and we still have it.
I ordered a lot because
it's
we don't
seasonal.
think we can get it.
Yeah, you can't get this anymore.
But it looks,
it
has
makes
a good background.
It is. It's already wood grained, and I just love it. And it's fun for Halloween. I've used it at other times of year too, but it's $14.99, and I still have some.
I think it's fun for fall. Also, when you pop the bright orange leaves and gold leaves off of it, they would look amazing.
Yep. And then I just put some little sequins, and that's it. Just black and white, clean and simple.
Love it.
Yeah. All right, here's a different way to do it. So this one doesn't really have a focal point. I guess the focal points are the tickets, is what I would say. And I use the Tim Holtz die cuts, and I use the ticket
it without the stamp.
Yeah, I use the tickets a lot, the die cuts a lot. And it comes with, how many? 6 different sizes. And so I just found the tickets that fit the words. I knew I wanted, this has a little serration, and I'm like, oh, spooky fits perfect there. That's awesome. And stamped the house and the ghost. So I made my tickets, and then I just moved them around until I got them situated. I always do an odd number, so I did 3. And what else? Oh, I used a pink on this one because I used the Fabulous paper pad. That's $7.99. This is what we're using at Scary Makers, and we still have one Scary Makers
one
kit
left. So there's one Scary Makers kit left.
Yeah,
so but if you're thinking about it, give us a call right away. I don't think it will last.
Yeah, but this is the paper that we're using, and I just love it. So I had to get this tablet.
And Teresa, this is kind of interrupting you, but speaking of Scary Makers, we're kicking it off tomorrow.
Ooh.
So basically what we're doing tomorrow is just an intro, and I get to show my project, and then on Wednesday we have a live video with the pre-cutting for the homework.
Okay.
But if you don't have your kit yet, it's okay, because you can go back and watch all those things.
Yeah.
Scary Makers doesn't officially start till September 11th, so there's lots of time.
Yeah. So this is the background paper with the bats on it. And then I did add...
I see that.
So I have the stars. I just love those stars. I've seen those in a couple of stamp sets now. Actually, the Merry Maker stamp set has one. And then the bat and the Happy Halloween. And I used some black embossing powder on those. I stamped those with black.
People can see that.
Yeah, because they weren't showing up regular, and so I had to use... Sometimes I'll stamp things and then they don't show up, and it's on my MISTI, so it's really nice. So I can
right back,
stamp it again, and pour some embossing powder and emboss it, and then it pops with the shine.
Stamp your tickets after you cut them, or did you cut them and then stamp them and then cut your tickets out?
This time I cut the ticket and then stamped on it.
Okay.
Because this would have been hard to do, I think, to get it in the right spot.
Oh, yes, it would have.
Sometimes I stamp and then cut, but like this, they had to be the right distance apart. Oh, and here I used, I believe that's Lost Shadow. It is. I use colors that I
Oh, Twisted Citron and Lost Shadow she also used. And that
you
was
know
the
what?
oxide. Do we have a bell anywhere?
I used Rusty Hinge on this one too.
We need this mat that she's using. People are asking about this.
Oh, got it.
Thanks, Maggie. Maggie's on it for us.
Yeah, so I used 2 different colors of orange because there was 2 different colors of orange bats in there, and so I wanted to make sure I used all the colors that were on my paper that I felt went the closest with that. So that, I really like how that turned out. That was fun. Something different.
Okay, and Debbie's asking about people's favorite trimmers. So I know, what would you say here at Memory Bound? I just use the Fiskars trimmer, but I also, the Tim Holtz trimmer is very popular.
It is.
The guillotine and his new rotary.
Yep.
And Caterpillar, people here at Memory Bound like that. What do you use, Teresa?
Well, I have the Tim Holtz rotary.
Okay.
It's new. I used to have a Fiskars one, but now I have the Tim Holtz one because it cuts through like a lot of thicknesses and heavy chipboard, which I really like. And it also folds down, and it's smaller than my old one that I had because it has arms, but it folds down. And then I have a guillotine also that I use that's big enough for a 6x8 piece of paper. So when I'm using my paper pads, I can just chop
it.
Or when I'm scrapbooking, I use it on photos a lot to crop down photos.
Okay, and then also, sorry to interrupt you, before you go to the next card, they're asking about the mat that you're using, the media surface mat.
Yep.
And I'll go back here so I can give a better look at it.
It's 13.5 by 23, and it's $24.99, and I really like it.
It sticks to the table.
It does. It doesn't move, and it has these weighted corners, and you can roll it up. I just roll mine up and bring it with, and it works pretty good. It's a nice surface just to work on, to have. It gives you a space for what to try and keep
by
your stuff.
looking at our table, you can see that we need a space.
You need
for
a
sure.
space, yeah. So it gives you a space,
and it's made to fit the Tim Holtz glass media mat.
Yes.
But Teresa made an aha for me that you don't have to have the glass media mat.
It's a good surface just to take with you or to have it at home, because I do a lot of messy things, and so it just wipes clean.
She does.
It doesn't get on my table that way then.
Oh gosh, this has got a cool background.
So this is...
I'm anxious to see how she did the background here, guys. It is embossed.
Where's my piece of paper? I have a piece of paper. Okay, you guys remember when I showed you the samples that I used last week for the the glow grip paste, and I had this circle, and I said, oh, I used that on a card, and then I'm like, oh, that's for next week.
We can't show it to you. It's for next week.
So this was the die cut of the new what's it called?
Oh, yeah.
The Moonlight. So it's not a perfect circle. So I cut when I was making the glow.
Oh, it's not a perfect circle?
No, it's kind of wobbly.
Not.
So when I was cutting this for my other card, I'm like, I don't know why I had this on my table, and then I use a globe, and I'm like, hey, I need a moon stencil, and so I just used the cutout. So you can use your dies as stencils.
Oh, I see. You made a stencil out of the moon.
And I made a stencil, and then I just used the ink. I think I used 2. Oops, that my Post-its upside down. I used squeezed lemonade and spiced marmalade on that one. Well, that was a little bit different, but that's okay.
So by using the 2 colors, it gives it a lot of dimension.
Yep. So I put the yellow down first, and then I went over it with the other color. So don't forget about your die cuts.
I love all the bats.
Yeah.
I love those.
So the moon was my focal point, and then I decided I was going to use, that Hero Arts. You know, I love the, this is a good basic one that everyone should have, is the nesting infinity postage
I'm like, where'd
stamps.
you use that at? I couldn't figure it out.
That's
but it's
where
right
my
there.
sentiment is. I didn't want to stamp it on the moon. I wanted something else. So I did that.
Teresa, you're so creative.
And I don't use white embossing powder very often because I feel like it's tricky. But I used it there. I like the black and white. And then, so this one was a challenge because then I stamped the bats. See, I got 7 of them there.
Odd number.
I know, I had to do an odd number. And then I did my pumpkin So this isn't so much a grouping, but it's kind of a grouping with the bats. So you can, again, like repeat an image. Don't be afraid to repeat your images when you're doing your grouping. It's more of a challenge when you're laying it out, because you're like, okay, is this one going to fit here? Is it going to fit here?
I agree.
So you just have
stamp.
you just have to go with it. And sometimes it's nice to stamp off the edge too. I did that twice with the bats.
I think it gives them more movement.
Yeah. And then I use the grid ribbon, which I just bought a bunch of. And for the background, this is really cool.
Yeah, that's what we want to see.
I was just going to put it on black, and then I'm like, no, I need to use an embossing folder, because you need to get those out. And this one's called Cracked, and it's $13.99. And it kind of is like a wood, kind of cracked.
Kind of barky.
Barky wood. Yeah, bark. It's probably better to say bark, isn't it? I like that. And so I just... I think I used hickory smoke. Let me look on the back.
So
here.
did you do it on with white and then just inked it?
Yes.
So it's on white cardstock, you embossed,
I
and then
took my blending tool and I just lightly went over the top, so the raised area, because it's 3D. So these pieces stick up pretty well. But that's kind of a fun, it'll make a good masculine cards.
Yeah, definitely.
I guess it'll be in his regular, he makes all of these for his regular line, doesn't he? These don't go away, do they?
Sometimes
they do.
Sometimes.
I wasn't sure about that one. So this one's
Sizzix
good.
does retire things.
Yeah.
Stampers Anonymous, I don't know if they've ever retired anything at Tim Holtz, but Sizzix does.
Sizzix does, yeah. And then the last thing I did is the little black splats. And you guys know that I use my colored pencil to do that, because that's my new thing that I do. I use my black
color pencils.
Yeah,
watercolor pencils.
So there's
very
that
cute,
one.
Teresa.
Yep. So then I did 2 other tags, and this one actually is from the
our sheet.
Yep,
inspired
the
by
card.
Teresa.
$4.29. I asked Kelly, "Can you do Halloween ones?" And so I used, what did I use last week? Maybe I used the Halloween one.
Yeah,
and these are great for scrapbooking or for putting on your cards. Those are $4.29.
Mini albums, all kinds of things.
I love that it's in black. And so I just used that corner punch and made my own tag.
Soon. It has been out of stock from our distributor. So.
That's because we've sold so many
I know,
of them.
I think it is.
That was kind of my focal point that started. So it said trick or treat already. And then I just started stamping. So I saw that I had a little area over here and my ghost wouldn't fit, so my brooms would, and I couldn't get 3 of them, so I just put a star there. And then I started from the bottom.
Oh, you
and
did.
I worked from the bottom up. Yeah, because I knew I wanted my house at the bottom of the tag. So I started there with the house, and then I built my way up. In finding what I wanted. And you can see I kind of alternated.
I love all the colors.
The words and the sentiments and the images. And yes, you have to, start with the colors. So the trick or treat was already there in orange, so I'm like black and yellow. I knew I wanted my house in orange, so I started there, because you don't want to have your colors too close together. So you're using orange, purple, green, yellow, black, and purple. I had 6 colors on there. But sometimes I don't count black.
Cool. It's so cool though. I love it.
When I'm picking my colors, then I'm like, oh, black isn't a color. It is a color. I know. Well, or absence of color. But I don't count that when I'm laying it out for some reason. And then again, I stamped the frame off of the side of there. And the October 31st was already there.
I was going to ask you where you got the October 31st. I was thinking,
where did that come from?
And then I didn't want to ask just in case.
Yeah, so there's trick or treat, and so the October 31st. So and the frame fit perfectly. I know. The happy accidents sometimes are just like amazing, because you're like, oh, it fits perfectly. So I had to be careful with that one when I was stamping that. And then I just put some See, I got the 3 colors of grid ribbon.
Got the grid ribbon.
I think I need to buy
You
some
can buy
full
the grid
spools.
ribbon by the yard
I didn't
or
bring any of
by
that
the
over here.
spool if you want the whole spool.
Yeah, I think I
And
need.
you might as well get the whole spool.
I know.
For getting it.
I know. That's what I'm like. Why did I just buy a little of this? I love it. So this is another. This is the 6-inch number 8 tag, and this time I started with a die cut, and so I use the alphanumeric bulletin, and Penny used this in her album last week, and it kind of inspired me because I'm like, I want to use a big alphabet, and then Penny showed this, and I'm like, I have that.
That's been a really popular one because
and it's
it is
$40.99.
big, but it's skinny.
They're
so
2 inches, yeah.
So you can get a lot of letters in.
Yeah, you can get these on cards, definitely, but they're good for scrapbook titles too. So, of course, I started with my black and orange, and that was my focal point. And I did have to put the little dot. It's like, okay. And
it's a good thing to rest your broom on.
Yeah. And then again, I started at the bottom and, did this part. So I did the house, and then again, doing the colors, kind of making sure that they're not together. And this broom just fit in here. Now look at my ghost. Does anyone notice anything special about those ghosts? Maybe not.
I do know that they are layered.
Yes, very good,
And
Kelly.
I think they are masked.
They were. So I'm going to get them out of my little. So there are my ghosts. They're not very pretty, but I use the masking magic, and I've used this before a while back, and it's $9.29, and you get multiple sheets.
Like 10 sheets?
12 sheets. Yeah, 5 by 7. You get lots. So what you do is you stamp it on the paper. The front part is white. Just get mine out here.
Just to let everyone know, Janet is fixing the flashcard link. So that will be here shortly if you want to get Halloween flashcards. And if you like the flashcards, gosh, you guys, we have Christmas.
Oh, yeah, everything.
We have everything. Travel, graduation.
So this is the masking stuff. So you just stamp on this side, and then you cut it out, and then the backing just peels off.
So you'll notice on Teresa's top ghost there, the ghost behind it is not showing because she stamped the top one, and then she put her masking piece over it, which she cut out of the stamped and cut out of the masking paper. If it has a die with your stamp, you can die cut it. Otherwise, you can just fussy cut around it.
And if you just cut right on the line, Kelly, I can't get the back off. There I got it. I don't have a pokey thing.
And then then you save those, and you can use them over and over for quite a bit.
So what I did is I stamped the first one. No, what did I do? I stamped this one over here, and then I put my mask on him, right on top of him, and then I stamped this one, and then I had another mask. Maybe I stamped this one. So you can see they overlap. It's just a fun tool to have.
It is, and you couldn't do that otherwise.
Yeah. So my ghosts, because I wanted 3 of them, but I didn't want them to go straight up and down, and I'm like, oh, I know, I can mask them, so I masked them.
So even if you were doing like this cauldron and you wanted bats coming out of it or something, you could mask
or the
cauldron.
Bubbles.
Yes, you could definitely mask that if you wanted to
layer.
layer.
Bubbles. They're not really bubbles.
Well, they're kind of bubbles, star bubbles.
Yeah. So the bat kind of fits in the frame, so I did that.
I really love this group stamping, and it's something you all probably have stamps at home that you can do this with. Teresa is showing you the one that we have. What was this called, Teresa? I don't remember. Haunted Home.
Haunted Home.
Haunted Home from Cartabella. It's with their new Halloween collection, which is also an amazing collection. But it's just something fun, and
you can do other stamps. Today, multiple stamps. And you guys know that I do that all the time. I mix
Oh yeah, you
mix
can
my
definitely
stamps.
mix them up.
I wanted really bad to use a Tim Holtz stamp, but I'm going to show you that using a Tim Holtz stamp as well. We'll use a couple different stamps to do the demo. All right, so now these are the glow in the dark. Do you want to go?
Okay, we are going to go, we'll go show those in a minute. We also have a special guest that just dropped in that we want to show. So do you want to,
Go ahead.
Should we talk to her? You want to come
Sure.
over and we'll find Christy? Christy's here, and she was, evidently she entered some things that she made with Memory Bound product in the state fair.
Goodness.
And this is what she's brought her projects in. So let's go find her.
Yeah.
And then we have some
Christy?
questions. Then we have some questions. Janine's getting her. So isn't that sweet? Speaking of Iowa State Fair and our Blue Ribbon Special, and why Christy's coming, if you joined us late, I'm going to show you our Blue Ribbon. The fair's over now, but not at Memory Bound. So our special today for our Blue Ribbon Special are these. Our special for our special, Teresa, is our special. And these are special. But these are
special.
These are our stamp sets that are $2.99 from $49 Market. Christy, come over and tell us about what you brought. Stand by Teresa, and she's got a microphone.
Here, I'll just put
So
it
this
on
is okay, and then you still have to stand close.
Yes.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
you're linked together. So
I
this-
came up today because I entered some scrapbooking things in the Iowa State Fair, Creative Crafts, which are inspired and a lot of materials bought here.
Yay.
And I was lucky enough to win 2 blue ribbons and a white ribbon.
All right, well, show us your projects.
Okay.
And thank you so much for coming in.
Not a problem, not a problem. This was the 12 by 12 scrapbook page of my parents and their wedding.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So that was the
Oh my gosh.
first ribbon I saw in
1955.
1955, yeah.
Got your journaling. You got your date.
Yep.
Ooh, I like the Tim Holtz, the metal right there.
Yeah.
That is
They
really
l-
cool.
That was one of the comments. They liked the embellishments on the 12 by 12.
And that was a scrapbook
Yes.
thing?
The scrapbook
So
entry.
there, if you are local and you want to enter next year, they've got a scrapbooking competition, and I think there's card making.
Yeah, it's all under Creative Arts and Crafts.
Creative Arts and Crafts. And that was a blue ribbon, and now she's got another blue ribbon.
Another blue ribbon, and I forgot the ribbon, but this is the accordion folder thing that I did at the last retreat.
Yes.
That's a 49 in Market, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's Tim Holtz, the Tim
Oh,
Holtz
yeah.
So,
file folio.
yeah.
Yeah, because it has that little
And
accordion
it's got
thing.
graphic 45 paper in it.
So,
Cottage
Grove.
Grove. Is it Cottage Grove? Cottage something.
Cottage Life.
Life.
There we go.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
beautiful.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, it
And
has
there's-
a fabric tie, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It goes with it.
Yes, it does. And I forgot it at home.
That is
Sorry, I just
beautiful.
came from the fair finish cleaning up out there.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. I run the craft tent out there for the kids.
Oh.
So, yeah, I'm there every day.
That's
and then
really nice.
when I went to pick up my
Okay,
things,
wait. You're there every day at the
oh,
fair?
yeah, sorry.
Oh, my gosh.
It's called Art Attack. It's 1 to 5 every day in the Cultural Center courtyard, and it's free kids crafts.
Oh, my gosh.
But we do watercolor paints, and we let people play with clay, and you don't have to be a kid. We let adults
It could be
play
a-
too.
everybody's a kid,
Yes,
right?
yes, and it's free to everybody. So, and this, Kelly, is your.
Oh, I
Little-
recognize this technique because I
Yes.
love it myself.
And I didn't know I won a ribbon on this until I picked it up yesterday.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
Fun.
Yeah,
Oh, I do love, and that's perfect for right now with
exactly.
fall.
And I got a white ribbon on that. So,
Well, congratulations,
thank you
Christy.
so much.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
And thank
so-
you for coming in and bringing that.
I was so excited to share because I watch you guys all the time, and I'm in here all the time, and love your
she
retreats.
She is in here all the time, and
Yes.
she goes to our crops and everything.
Yeah,
so,
so
we love that.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for sharing. Boy, this is a treat. The unexpected.
Yeah, can't wait till
So
next
we
year.
love it. Well, bring in any project anytime, and people love to see what everybody makes,
Okay.
and so do we.
We'll do. Okay, you can have that back.
Everyone's saying, Everyone's saying congratulations. Oh, thank you. So big congratulations. And everyone's super happy. I know, participate. Yes. When do you find out what the contests are that people could start looking?
As soon as I check a month before.
So in July. So check in July
Just
about.
get on the Iowa State website and go to Creative Crafts, and they have a list there of what you can enter, and you usually turn them in the Saturday before the fair starts.
Okay, so I'll try to remember that too,
Yeah.
so we can
Get it on
tell
our calendar
people about
next
it.
year.
Absolutely,
It's
absolutely.
fun. It's fun. Everybody should do it.
Okay, thanks so much. Okay, now I'm getting an alert that is Jody here. Chris's daughter's mother-in-law was coming, and she just said, "Say hi to Jody," and we have a whole bunch of questions for you. So can we just see if Jody's here so
Yeah.
we can say hi to her? And I don't really know if she's here, but she said earlier. I'm getting my British guy. Hi, Rhonda.
Hello.
Okay, is Jody here? Do you guys know if Jody's here? Chris
Yes.
Simon's
Yes,
daughter's mother-in-law.
Yes, she is. I was just talking
She
to
wants
her.
us to say hi to her.
I sent her back to Clarence.
Oh,
She's with that guy right there.
okay. Okay. Oh, I've been told she's a blonde. Oh my gosh, this is so funny. Okay, Jody. Okay, Chris wants to say hi.
Hi, Chris.
She said her daughter's mother-in-law is stopping, and you're picking up some things for her,
I
she
guess so. She said she was going to call some in.
And she keeps saying, "Say hi to Jody. Say hi to Jody." So hello, and thanks for coming in today.
Welcome. She's been telling us about this all the time.
So it's your first visit.
Yeah, we're on our way home.
Oh my gosh, she's on her way home, her first visit. Well, thanks for stopping in, for sure.
Thanks for being here.
Okay, Chris, we got her. We did it.
I should have brought my tags with me because we're going to have to go back that way.
Okay, well, here's the, Chris says I'm on the phone now with Rhonda. Okay. I don't know if that's meant for us or not, Teresa. Okay, so here's some questions. Well, do you want to finish showing those before we take them to the dark, or what do you want to do?
Sure.
I'm trying to go back. I'm trying to go back, everyone.
some
So just a
questions?
little patience. What were the questions? There's some questions. There's so many comments about Christie's. Oh, what's the name of the masking paper pack? It's Masking Magic from Gina K. It's 12 sheets. Like we said, you can reuse them, and it's $9.29. What a weird price. And Christina said she saw those yesterday and loved pointing out to her family familiar names of the memory-bound friends. Chris says, my friend just walked in the door. Other people saw her projects too. Cool. Michelle's asking about using this technique on a scrapbook layout. Couldn't you do the same thing?
Definitely. Start with your photo and then use your stamps to embellish. I love stamping on scrapbook pages.
And then someone's asking how to use the flashcards, and then I think we're caught up after that question.
Okay. Well, the flashcards, you can make tags out of them, or you can cut them up and, use them as a journaling. I mean, you could journal on one of those and put it right on your scrapbook page, or just an embellishment, grouping it with other embellishments that you have.
And you can tuck them in pockets. So what we do is we've got very fine grade lines, so you know where to cut with your trimmer. And then you can round the corners, and you can ink the edges. We need to do a demo one day. We've done it, but we will do another demo about all the things you can do with flashcards. How does that sound, Teresa?
I've got my leftovers right here.
She clips them together to keep them together. So that's a good
I don't
idea.
lose those, yeah.
So Teresa took this one, and she used the slanted corner punch and made it into a tag. But you can also make them into flashcards.
Yep.
And we'll show more about that.
You can make it into a ticket too by using a circle and doing a half on your corners, making it look like a ticket. Sometimes people do that.
I think that's going to be, we've got some days to fill in September, and we'll fill it with one of those ideas, or all of those ideas.
Okay. So remember last week I was showing you the Grit Paste Glow. It's $9.99, and you get this fun package, and we went into the bathroom. And so last week I was demoing, and I demoed how to use a stencil, and I did the two, and I said, because, I should do a Christmas one. And so I did a 2.5, and this is from it's a weird name, Element Stencils Freight.
Oh,
and
it's the element
$15.99.
stencils.
Yeah,
And then there's different types of numbers, and this one is called freight.
yeah. So I did the 2 and the 5. So I did the 2 first. You have to wait for it to dry, and then I did the 5 at home.
Oh, good
I did
point.
the 2 on the
Good point.
video, and then on this tag I used the mini stencil set number 9. Is the
Okay, you got the little.
what is it? There's a name
Diamonds?
for that. Diamonds.
Harlequin?
Yeah, that's it maybe. And then there's squares and these random circles. I love those. They're different sizes. But I did that, and I was showing you guys how you can tint it a little bit. And I believe I used speckled egg. Now, on the video, I know last week I went back and looked at the video, and you can't really see it as well. In person, believe me, you can see it.
On
You
the
need
video, it didn't show very well.
You have to be careful. Like this dark green didn't show very well at all. It didn't glow.
You
But
need
the
to
lighter
keep it
colors,
lighter colors.
yeah, just that was my sample to check it. So I used the speckled egg on that one. So hopefully you guys are going to be able to see that. So I'll just show this one is the stamp set. If you join Merrymakers, you're going to get the stamp
And we
set.
haven't posted Merrymakers yet,
Yeah.
but this is one of the items that's going to be in the,
Yeah.
in the kit.
So if you think you're going to do it, don't buy the stamp set yet. But if you're not doing Merrymakers, if you just
then
like
get the
this,
stamp set.
then get it. And it's $14.99.
I really love that Mary, and I like the colors that
Yeah.
you picked, the green and the gold and the red.
Yep, that was, I used hickory smoke, lumberjack plaid, fossilized amber, and pine needles. And those are the colors we're going to be using in Merrymaker, so that's why
Oh, that's a good idea.
I
We'll
picked
be able to
those
show that
colors.
then.
Yes, that's why you like the colors, Kelly. So I did that, and then I also used, you can see just slightly, do you see just those little faint smudges of words? So those, I like a background, and that's from that entomology background. Normally what I would do is I would start with stamping that and then do my paste on top of it. But because I already have my paste down, I just kind of had to take the stamp and just try and stamp around the 25 and
is
in
that
between.
Lost Shadow then that you used on that?
No, that was hickory smoke. But because I was using the stamp in a weird way, and you know what? I think I stamped off first and then stamped it.
All right,
And
that
I'm
makes
going to
sense.
talk about that too.
And
So
the question is, are you doing glow in Merrymakers? As probably not.
No.
It's that would be kind of, that's a product that is limited, and it's only here for a short while. So number one, if you like it and you want to get some,
Yep.
don't wait too long. And so we will not be using that in Merrymakers.
No. But I will be doing a grouping stamp in Merrymakers.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Can't wait.
It'll be different than this one.
Of course.
Yes, but this one's cute. I like how it turned out. And then this one, I wanted to do a fall one, and this one's from Echo Park, and it's called Falling for Fall. And it also has a good mixture of words and sentiments. I like the pumpkin and the little hay coming out of the container. Always, wreath is always good for fall. So I had already put this. So on this one I used some different colors. I used aged mahogany, mustard seed, speckled egg. This one I used Lost Shadow and hickory smoke.
That's really neat.
And so I kind of had to do the same thing on this one, but I used
Oh, for your little background, so that's not speckled. I mean splattered.
no, I didn't splatter. I just used this little stamp, and so I just used Lost Shadow because I didn't want it, and I just used parts of it, you know, and I just had to stamp around with my hand in the stamp because the paste was already on there and it would have gotten in the way.
Well, and it's showing entomology is out of stock, but we do have more
Oh.
coming. So if
Okay.
you want it and you want us to hold it for you, just give us a call here at the store or send us an email
Yeah.
or a message on Messenger, and we'll be glad to get that for
This
you.
is what it looks like. It has the bugs. I use this more than anything, but the bugs
she
I
loves
use
the
fun
bugs,
too.
too.
There's bees, the ladybug is super cute, the moth, and sometimes I'll do a creepy card with one of the other creepy bugs. But So this one, I used my sentiment. I already had the paste, so that was already there. So then I started with the sentiment. And I only used that was the aged mahogany that I just stamped once. So again, when I'm picking my colors, I'm thinking about how many times am I going to, when I stamp with a color, I'm like, okay, I've used it once here, and then twice, and then 3 times. Okay, I probably don't want to try and use that again. So there's lots of things to think about when you're doing this technique.
And don't you think just getting started and trying it and playing around with it,
yes,
is that kind of how you...
The more you do it, the easier it gets. It's a little bit, at first it's a little bit like you're like, what should I do? But once you start doing it, it's so much fun to challenge. I love a good challenge, and I think this is a challenge. But do we want to go look at them in the dark?
Yes, we do. Somebody asked to see the stamp set again.
Yeah.
And it's the Simple Vintage 'Tis the Season. We do know that we are putting this in the Merry Makers kit. So if you know for sure you're doing Merry Makers, you'll have this. And if you're not, we still like you.
Yes.
And we still love you.
And we have the stamp set you can
just
buy.
get a stamp set.
That's right.
I think Diane was loving this bird because I could see doing that and coloring it like patchwork.
Oh,
different colors. Wouldn't that be neat,
That'll
Teresa?
probably be my focal point on my tag.
Oh, I can't wait.
I'm guessing.
I can't wait, Teresa.
I haven't made it yet.
But she will. All right, so now we're going, of course, back to Memory Bound's restroom,
Yes.
which is a very hot place sometimes. Very popular area. We get a lot of travelers that are traveling through, because if you didn't know this, we are located very conveniently at the intersection of I-80 and I-35. We're about 15 minutes from there. And with that, we're right off the interstate. So if you are traveling on your vacation, it's a nice place to stop. And you can use our restroom if you want.
Yes.
Right, Teresa?
Yes. Okay. So here,
it's glowing already.
I know you can kind of see it even when you go into the area.
When you turned it like this.
Yeah.
There it's glowing.
In the shadow,
Yeah.
So, if you sent somebody this, you would want to give them a little note and say, hey, it glows in the dark.
Take it to the bathroom with you, or take it in your bedroom. Oh my gosh.
So there's the 25. Look at the jar. Isn't that fun?
Yeah, that is so
It makes me happy.
fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there's your 25. And then this one just has the, can you see it?
If I get, it's really hard to see
Yeah.
that one. Teresa and I can see it just fine.
Yes, I can see
but
it.
it's not showing
It's the
on,
diamonds.
on the camera. So
This is the good part.
it is. Oh gosh, if you did eyeballs,
Ooh,
wouldn't that be
that
fun
would be
to
fun.
make them glow and make it? I could see making it for our grandsons, and they could take it in their bedroom and
Tim
stuff.
has those skulls. You could put the paste in the eyeballs of the skulls, or
my
just
gosh,
do the
yes.
skull. Oh,
That would be
or
really
bones.
good.
Oh, there's some bones. Oh, that would
Angie
be good.
says it looks awesome, and it does. The one you can't see very well just
know.
because of our facility here and our camera. If we had professional cameras.
the camera is the problem.
So, but Teresa, those are really nice.
All right, are we ready to leave?
I think we're ready to leave.
Nobody even knocked while we were in there.
And we do have a message board in here. That's where we do a lot of marketing. Probably shouldn't have mentioned that. But just so you guys know, it is a really beautiful day today here in Ankeny, and it's going to be like 105, Teresa?
Yeah.
110 heat index.
It's 83 already.
So we're ready to heat up. And it's a good time for crafting, really.
It is. It's a good time to be
you might as well
inside.
come in where it's cool. Now, Teresa showed you the stamp set, and this is the rest of 'Tis the Season. And we just absolutely love this collection. And this is a lot of what we're using for Merry Makers. So we're pretty excited. We're working on our projects right now, and we're kicking off Scary Makers. We got a lot of makers going on, Teresa. We got to catch up.
We do.
And it's been a little confusing for those of us that are participating because we're trying to figure out what we're on.
Yes.
Are you going to show your card? Your dad's card?
No. I had to
I thought
look
maybe
at
you were.
something. Okay. So we're going to do the slimline card today. And since this one is on,
She's using our sales stamp.
we're going to use the sales stamp.
Yay!
And so this trick or treat was going to be my focal point, but I think I'm going to use this. We're just going to do this
Teresa
part
knows what she's doing. So
live.
she's
We'll
using a
see.
slim line. So she's using the number 6 from Say It With Stamps, which is photo play, and you can get the card bases. They're only $2.99 for 10, and they're pre-scored and pre-cut. And of course, you
Okay.
can cut your own if you want to.
So you heard me say stamp off. So sometimes if you want to stamp an image but you don't want it dark, you're gonna, I didn't bring my hickory smoke or my lost shadow, so I'm gonna use the black soot and I'm gonna stamp it
And
onto a scratch piece of paper
snuck
first.
a piece of paper on there. So
To
she
see how
snuck
dark
that
that
extra
is,
paper.
I don't want that. Oop, I didn't use my magnet.
Oh, but it
See?
works great.
That just adds a little
Yeah,
bit.
lightens it up.
Yeah.
So, and if you're stamping with a block, then you would just put your stamp on the block and stamp somewhere. But
Yeah.
not on your
You could use a block
furniture
also.
or your wall or your tablecloth. And then,
Here,
are you
this
going to
is-
do it with that one too?
I am.
So
I'm just
she's
gonna
using
do-
the ration stamp from 49 at Market, and this is our special today for $2.99, and they're normally $12.99. Pascal's ration stamp. Pascal's the designer, and look at it says meal on it. And Teresa, I'm sorry, we're not watching you. Did
That's
you
okay.
just stamp on a?
Nope. So that,
She's getting it set up.
where did my scratch paper go?
Oh, I love it when that happens to somebody else.
Here it is.
Okay.
Okay.
So she's inking it with black, but she doesn't want it to be quite that bold.
I got ink on my fingers. Wait, I'm stamping the wrong side of the stamp. So I'm stamping this. I don't want it to be black, so I'm gonna stamp. I don't want it to be bright black, so I'm gonna stamp on a scratch paper, and then I'm gonna take it off.
And this is
And
a
normally-
tricky technique you can do with,
Yeah.
and Lisa's calling it second generation stamping,
Yeah.
and we have heard that
Yep.
too.
Yep. Normally I would use like a block to stamp, but I'm using my Misty today. So, okay. So, remember I said, can I do it upside down? I don't think I can. So
You
this
don't
is
have
going to
to.
be my main sentiment. And then I'm going to look and see what, so again, I do
Lori
like the
wants to know
house.
if you wiped your fingers under the table.
Oh,
She has her, oh, ta-da!
I
She's
put my
got her
mat.
microfiber cloth.
Yeah. Yeah. So before, when I was thinking about this, I wasn't.
I gave her this stamp set as kind of a surprise this morning. She wasn't planning on it, but since it's on special, I just thought you'd like to see it stamped, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And what a neat background.
I had an idea. I had kind of played with it.
She had it figured out, and then I messed her up, so she's going on the fly.
I kind of had it
But we
laid
get
out.
to see how you do this.
Yeah, and this they might be a little bit dark for. I'm gonna have to use. I'm probably gonna have to stamp a couple times, and maybe I would have.
And Angie says then you can
Done
use
heat embossing.
You could use your piece of paper that you stamped off on for something else.
Oh yeah.
So while Teresa's arranging her stamps and figuring out what she's doing, I just want to show you the bold frights. And I have made cards with this too. It's really cool because you can do even like a smooshing background, and then I heat embossed the title, and that's all you need. Except sometimes I like to add some Google eyes just because I love googly eyes. And then also while she's arranging that, like I said earlier, to look at your stamps at home and see what you have. Like here comes the sun. If you're doing a card maybe for summer, and you know summer is not over yet. And here's just another example of some great card sets from Echo Park. They tend to have lots of images on them, and lots of little ones, big ones, and everything in between.
Okay. You know what? My first stamp is going to be the Tim Holtz one. So I'm going to take out my
So she's got it kind of
foam.
set up. This is,
I have it
glad,
kinda
I'm
set
so
up.
glad you're doing this.
I kind of thought of it beforehand because normally I just do this, you know,
And she's using a Misty, which we talked about earlier.
let's see.
Oh, I like your measuring.
Well, I would do a ruler. I'm like,
If
how
she had
far
a
down?
ruler, she'd use a ruler, but she's just kind of doing her finger.
Yeah, about like that. Okay. And I want it straight. So because, oh, see, this one is dark. That
You're
was
gonna be
throwing
fine.
me. I think it's going to be fine because I stamped off, you guys. So
when
now I'm using.
She did the second generation stamping right there.
Yeah, I guess I
So
could
here's
have done
the first
black.
generation.
I probably would have done black. I don't know,
Oh, this is going to be neat. I like it already.
but I
And-
went orange.
So they're talking about the stamp deal today, and here's the one Teresa's using, and here's the other one we have also with the doilies, which would make that would make a cool background too.
Oh yeah. Or I just see it halfway stamped.
Kind
like
of going off the page.
Yeah, going off the page. That's how I would use it.
Look how nice
right.
it is that Teresa cleans up her stamps before she puts
Well,
them away.
I already have ink on my fingers, so I'm like, okay, so since I have that,
Yeah, well, how do you know which one to do next?
well, I wanted the house kind of sitting there. So I think I'm going to do that in black. And I was going to do this guy in black too.
So if
Maybe
you're
we can
doing,
do a
so you do
couple.
them at the same time if it's the
Yeah.
same color? Janet really loves the orange because that's your focal point and it's
Yeah,
going to stand out.
It's going to
now.
pop a little bit. I could have done purple or green, whatever color you like. I feel like
There's a lot of
magnets.
choices, everybody.
Yeah, and I'm probably gonna. The ghost is super thin. Sometimes you have to give them a couple of inks because, and you could heat emboss them. You know, if you were
can
at home
also
and you
fill
wanted
in.
them.
You could also fill in
Oh,
with
yeah.
a little watercolor.
Yeah, you could make your ghost
And
show
we
a
had
little
somebody ask earlier about showing how to do your splatting, and
Yeah.
Teresa's done that in a video before, and the next time she watercolors, we can ask her to do that. And oh my
Seems
gosh, Shannon says you could use these and make Christmas ornaments out of them. Oh, that would be really, really pretty. She's lining up her next stamp, and
I thought.
I did stamp the doilies just to give you an idea of how cool they look, and here's kind of a lighter one. But I think if you did the second generation stamping and put them in your background, they'd be really cool. And I hope 40 Night Market comes out with stamps again. They've had some really good ones.
I did the trick or treat in the green, and I thought maybe I might just repeat it. Trick or
Oh,
treat, trick
good
or treat,
idea.
trick or
That's
treat.
something you haven't
Sometimes
done.
that's fun to do, to repeat images. I don't think I got it straight.
But that's okay.
That's okay. We're going on the fly here.
Teresa's
See, that's
stamping
what
with the oxides, and I think the
Yeah.
colors are a little bit bolder than
Oh,
the
yeah.
distress.
They are. Look here, we can get a bat. I'm going to hang it off the side.
Teresa, we all want to come and join be in your studio when you're doing this stuff.
You just have to play with it and see what you like. Oops.
They're asking where your Stampendable is. The store has one. We should find it. Shannon says stamp one doily, then stamp another color, cut the center image, and pop it on top of the original. Oh gosh, there's a lot of options here. Definitely.
I have to use the squeeze lemonade for the stars. See, sometimes there's like, oh, do I want my pumpkin to be orange or do I want it a different color? I always have to have my stars be yellow. I don't know why. And the stars are a nice fill-in too.
If you have that little space.
The little ones, you know, and the bat. I'm going to do another bat over
So
here.
Teresa's taking her pieces off of here where she kind of planned what she's
I
doing.
kind of planned it,
But
but
she's just stamping like crazy.
you know, you can always change your mind. I don't like where that was. And do you see how the background just kind of fills in too when we did the background stamp? That nice one that's $2.99. That's a good one because I like the numbers, and it has a little bit of that scripty, which is always just, you know, it doesn't really even matter what it says. It's just a nice
I think
script.
both of these would be good for scrapbook layouts because they are bigger stamps. So you could take these and do a second generation stamping, or use a really light ink color for background, or to make your own pattern paper. Good for heritage books.
Oh yeah. Anything really.
Oh, this is coming along. Teresa, thanks for doing this for us.
Well, you guys just have to get your stamps out and play sometimes. See, now I have a space over here that I don't feel like I had. I'm going to have to add another bat, I know, because...
I know, but the bats are good. I like the bats.
Yeah. It wasn't my plan, but...
Hey, plans change.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else I have is that little star thing that I could
bubble
squeeze in there. But I only have 2 bats, so I want to add a third one here, I think.
So as you see you have a space, you just fill in.
You just fill it.
So here's the colors that Teresa's using for this project. Crackling Campfire. Teresa, oh,
Squeeze lemonade.
Squeeze Lemonade. I was confused.
Oh, I didn't
you guys,
have my
if
lid.
you could have seen my face, I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. And Ellen says the doily stamp reminds her of the doilies her grandmother made.
You know, I have a little space there, but don't be afraid of white space either. And it's not even white space because it has that. So
Yeah.
I could stamp something there, but I'm just going to go back to the bottom part of the... So I got that. I wonder if I stamped it down farther. I'm wondering. I got some space
Well,
here.
I've always was taught that white space is your friend because
Yeah.
it makes everything pop off. And Teresa, you have a really good example of it on one of your Scary Maker cards. So while you're arranging your stamps and
Yes.
stamping the cauldron, I'm going to show everybody. So this is one of Teresa's projects for Merry Makers, this card, and it's a book fold card. And I love it how she has the white background and then all of the washi tape and the sticker letters and things, because that really makes them pop off. Pop right off the front of the card.
And the other thing is, you know, if you overlap too, you can overlap your stamps. You just have to make sure that you do a light color and then a dark color on top of it.
Is that what you're doing now?
Like I'll just switch
just-
it up
you're just
and
gonna
see.
do it.
So I'm gonna just use black on there because that's a dark color.
That is a dark color.
But you can, you know, there are lighter and darker greens.
Oh,
So I
that
missed
looks
the
good.
end.
That looks really good.
Yeah, so you can do that too. Don't feel like you have to, you know, when I laid it out, it just makes it trickier when you lay it out to
Well, I really love
fill your
how it's coming
space.
together.
I switched it. Let's see.
So this is
Spooky.
group stamping. And over here you'll see where Teresa's done the same thing. And I received a card from Teresa for 4th of July, and it was the same, but it was so fun. It was red and blue, and I don't know if you had like a lost shadow or a black in there,
Probably.
but you can see how fun they are.
What color was I going to put here? Purple, because
Purple?
I have it twice. It's just real tiny, the Boo Crew. I like to put that by the ghost.
Well, that's perfect by the ghost.
And you guys see that I'm not using stamp cleaner because these are oxides, and so they just come off with water. I always use the stamp cleaner when I'm using the archival ink, but a lot of times when I'm using these, I'll just spray my stamp with water. You just have to be careful because once I almost sprayed.
You almost sprayed your project?
It's so easy to be like, nope,
not
don't
spray
spray
your project,
that.
for
Don't
sure.
spray that.
I just love it's kind of like subway art, but not really. To me, subway art, the lines run perpendicular and it's straight words, and this is a little bit of everything.
I know I had my broom here. Trying to decide what color to do it because I've got orange, green.
Should you do the yellow?
I could do yellow, yeah. And I don't, the yellow is not showing great with the black, but you know, like I said, if I was
It's
at home, yeah, it didn't show very well. I would probably heat emboss
you could
it
do orange.
then. Yeah. Ooh, or if I had a brown, maybe I would switch and add a brown. Maybe I don't have any
Look
brown
how good
with me,
Teresa
but
is. She just sprays and wipes with her microfiber cloth, so her stamps are always clean.
and then your cloth ends up like this.
But they wash out really
But that's
nice.
okay.
You
Yeah,
can even just rinse
yeah.
them
I
with
just
water.
throw it in there.
We're gonna do
I'm
our
still
pumpkin.
gonna do the pumpkin. I have to do it in orange. I don't have to, but
You have
to.
to. She doesn't have to, but she has to. Oh, that looks good. This is just fun. I think this would be a fun project just to get together with friends.
See, yeah, you just take one stamp set, all your ink colors. Well, maybe you need a couple stamp sets. I wonder if
You're doing it all with one. Well, you did use two, I guess, because you used the Trick or Treat. And that was from the Tim Holtz Bold Frights. And here's the stamp set she's using now. So look at all she's been able to do. And Teresa has shown us how to take one stamp out of here and make a background paper. And I think Michelle asked earlier about using it on scrapbook layouts. And you could do a border like Teresa's doing right down the side of your layout. Or you could stamp all over the page to make it, or in the corners. I think in the corners would be pretty cool, having them go off your page.
I'm going to copy what I did on the other one. That's okay to
putting
do.
the bat in the
I'm gonna
frame.
Put the bat in the frame. I had a little space down there. I'm going fast, you guys, so my template didn't.
That's okay. I think everyone's loving this. I can't wait to
what
see
was
it.
I going to do? Oh, I know what I was going to do. I was going to take it off, and I'm just going to use a little block.
So you can
I'm
use a
just
block.
Gonna, add a couple
Little star bubbles.
little star bubbles. I don't have.
Yeah, you
And
need
you can
another
just-
yellow.
It doesn't show up.
I like it when they go off the page.
Yeah, I do
really
too.
do.
And
Mary Ann says the followers of Vicky Booten are called Boo Crew. I didn't know that, but it
oh,
makes
that's
sense.
fun.
Probably BOU Crew or whatever.
Oh yeah. All right. Ooh, I think it
just-
turned out okay.
Oh my gosh, it's
I like it.
amazing. Look at that, everyone. How fun that is.
So that's,
Teresa, you threw that together pretty quick.
you know, one stamp set with the background. I mean, you can always use whatever
I guess we
background
used
you
3
have.
because we used the background.
Oh, I did use the trick or treat.
And
I
the
used
trick or treat.
3. Yeah.
She used 3, but like over here, you didn't use. So you can do whatever you
Yeah,
want.
you could use a die cut or a tickets. I love using tickets or frames. You know, the frames like the 49 Market frames. That
yeah.
would be fun because you could stamp in the frame and behind the frame and yeah. So
The little film strips. There's a lot. Everybody. Teresa's got to go rest now. Teresa, this
Yeah.
has really been amazing. I've been really excited for this demo because
Yeah.
I think. I mean, look at that card.
yeah, it's fun.
It's so fun, and really, you're just using what you have.
Yeah.
And like we said, we love this stamp. Was it Haunted Manor or Haunted? We really love this stamp set that Teresa used. Haunted Home. I just can't remember that home.
It's
So if you wanna-
$12.99.
If you want to make what she made, get the Haunted Home, or she also used
Oh.
the Falling for Fall stamp today.
Yeah. And the big trick or treat one is the Bold Frights. I've showed that before. This
Yeah,
is
I
from
like that
last
one.
year. Soon, the Tim Holtz stamps
new
are
ones are
coming.
coming.
The
The
new
new
ones are
ones.
coming, and then
New
I'll have
Halloween.
something new to show you.
And
Yes.
she will too.
Yes. So
So Teresa, thank you so much. This has been, Bonnie's word is amazing, and I have to agree. I love this technique, and I think it's something we have not really done before.
Yeah.
So I love it when we show you something new and something you can use new product for, or you can see what you have at home and try it out and have fun with it with your things that you already have. All right. Well, Teresa, I have no idea what's going on tomorrow.
I was just thinking that. I forget to look.
We need to look next time, but we'll be back tomorrow morning. Thank you, Teresa. Remember our stamp specials, and we do have the bottle of green. It's called Christmas
Buttons
Tree
and more.
Buttons and embellishments, and those are 99 cents and $2.99 for the stamps. So, Teresa, thank you so much. Everyone, thanks for joining us, and see you tomorrow.